So how's it going, everybody? My name is Mark Anstead. I work with Hydro Labs, and I'm here to talk to you about how we are building different types of identity-linked solutions to simplify blockchain. So a little bit about us. We created an entire open source platform that allows any type of developer anywhere around the world to build any type of identity-driven application, decentralized application, API, or even a smart contract. And this is used on top of the ERC 1484 Digital Identity Standard, which is a digital identity aggregator, which allows for an interoperable digital identity. So what we're building at the product level is different types of payment solutions that allow for remittance, non-custodial asset storage, as well as different types of identity and file management storage. And all of these different types of solutions, they are built and tied to this core digital identity. So there's a big problem that we have seen over the last few years in general in the blockchain industry, and especially with new technologies in general, and that there's a lot of different types of barriers to adoption. And many of you guys are probably thinking, what the heck is even blockchain? And that's because some of these products are hard to understand. Different types of customers, they have to understand how to learn something entirely new that they're not even used to, and they have to spend time understanding what this actually means. Not only that, a lot of these products, they're very clunky, and there's a lot of friction points when you're using them and you're being onboarded onto these products. So at the protocol level, what we have built is this entire, I guess you can consider it foundation and underlying infrastructure that allows for this entire financial services ecosystem. And then at the product level, which we are focusing on right now, we are building out 3 flagship products. It is called Hydro Pay, Hydro Vault, and Hydro Drive. And as you can tell, they are all built and constructed to be tied back to this core digital identity, otherwise known as a Hydro ID. So starting off with Hydro Pay, this was the first permissionless, gasless P2P payment solution on the market. We have also worked on implementing Omise Go network into it that allows for instant and scalable transactions rather than having fairly slow or laggard transactions on the Ethereum network. And whenever a user is onboarded onto the product, each user is generated a unique and customizable Hydro ID. Now this ID is your digital identity, and it is then able to be used in any of those products that we are building. And some of the future updates into this product enable for different types of point-of-sale transactions as well as invoicing. In the V2 or 2.0 of Hydro Pay, we will enable for different types of remittance payments. And the beauty of that is people are able to now send remittance payments to people around the globe. We're going to be starting on 5 main borders, but they'll be able to do it cheaper than they can right now with current offerings. And so what that means is a person with USD or US dollars in the United States, they're able to take that. It is going to be swapped into a digital asset, which is backed and pegged to the US dollar. And that digital asset can then be sent to anyone, anywhere around the globe, which can then be withdrawn into their local fiat currency. Hydro Vault, this is a product that we are currently working on internally in QA right now, and it is the most secure non-custodial wallet on the market. It is also the first wallet with 2-factor authentication built directly into the smart contract, which means where all of these assets are being stored. So, for example, if you lose or a hacker steals your key to your wallet, they can't actually steal your funds, because then they have to go through this authentication process as well. So it's pretty much impossible to hack into. Hydro Drive, this is a product that we will be building out this coming year. And this enables for different types of decentralized file management, whether it's around your identity or just different types of public or private facing documents. And this allows people to store, sign, or stamp any of these solutions or data. And this is some of our go-to-market targeting. Some of our core team members, myself, Marco, Jason, and Tim, a little bit about what we have done in the tech industry as well as in the blockchain industry. And yeah, that's about it. I look forward to some of your questions and thoughts and all that fun stuff.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
You ready? Or is your head spinning from blockchain and smart contracts and two-stage authentication? Yeah. All right.
So when you started, you said you developed this in open source, and there's been a lot of controversy about just how secure open source is. Yet you're promoting a more secure solution. So can you help me reconcile that difference?
Sure. So I will go, so I'm pretty sure you're referring to this one. So at the open source level, that is basically something that anyone can build on top of. You can think of with the Web 2.0, so pretty much any type of application or website that you're interacting with on a daily basis, let's say Facebook, Amazon, Google, those are all Web 2 websites, and they're built on TCP or IP. Those are internet-based protocols. Those are all open source. So when we're talking about open source protocols on the Web3, these are all blockchain-based protocols. So it's just open source code that allows anybody to build applications on top of them. Now those applications don't have to be open source. In some cases they are. With these products that we are building right now, they are closed source. So we have products that we have built that are entirely open source, and we actually want people to go and do, it's called a pull request on GitHub, which allows you to take that code, put updates to it, make it better, different things like that. But with these, at the product level, they are all closed source.
Have you thought of applications other than finance for a wallet pay? If you talk to folks in healthcare, they'll say your Blue Cross card's worth more than your Social Security card.
Yes.
On the black market.
Sure. Yeah, and those are different types of applications that can be built at the protocol level. So the protocol level is very, very low level infrastructure that allows you to build different types of products on top of it. And as we were building out the protocol layer, we were essentially looking into all of these different types of niches and trying to see where a good product market fit was and where the most demand was, not only in the US, but in the world as a whole. And we saw that mainly in and around payments and finance.
So I saw heard a couple different products. What is the one you're going to go to market with, or is it all of them at the same time?
Sure. So our first go-to-market product is HydroPay. That's actually out right now. We have users. Actually, our largest user base, believe it or not, is not in the United States. It's actually in Southeast Asia. It's in Indonesia. So a lot of those people, they can't really get different types of financial solutions, and we're pretty much offering them for free. And we have different types of ways that we can generate revenue through these products, whether it's through fiat ramps. So when people are going into using these types of solutions, we are able to generate revenue from when people are going, let's say, into local fiat currency, like let's say the US dollar. It's just easy to think about that. Because we're working on a pilot right now for people in the US who are not able to get bank accounts in different types of merchant brick and mortar stores. And they will be able to accept payments in US dollars, where it is then swapped into a digital asset that is pegged and backed to the US dollar, and they are then able to receive these digital assets. So what that means is they're able to generate more revenue. The government is able to get more taxes and pretty much makes everyone happier.
Great, thank you. Any other questions from our judges? Yeah. All right.
Hit me.
No, how is this different than, say, Cash App, or what's?
Sure.
Yeah.
So Cash App is a fully custodian application. And many of the products that you use right now, whether it's Cash App or even Venmo, those are completely custodial products. So what that means is these organizations, they have full control over all of those assets that are being used in those products. We have no control over any of the funds that people store in these wallets or any of the transactions that they are doing. It is a completely open economy for people to interact with from pretty much anywhere around the globe. So people can use this in the US, they can use it in Europe, South America, Africa, Asia, basically anywhere that you have internet. And one of the other things, obviously, one of the main differences is they are focused solely on fiat, so it's focusing on USD to USD transactions. So when you're doing different things like that, that requires an MSB. And since we aren't actually touching any money and we are operating all of these products using blockchain and using digital assets, we don't even need any type of licensing because A, we don't touch any of the money and we don't hold any money whatsoever. So all of these products are essentially a pipeline for people to interact with.
Great. Big round of applause. Oh, do you have one more?
I had one question. Do you become an enabler for some of the fintech
In what aspect?
in terms of partnering?
Yeah, so we haven't really done any outreach in terms of licensing it, but believe it or not, a lot of organizations are actually starting to have actually reached out to us about licensing it so they can then offer it not only to their merchants, but their merchants' users. And we're working on a pretty significant pilot, not only in the US, but we have an enterprise, believe it or not, in Nigeria, who wants to offer it to all of the merchants that they are working with. And then we have an organization that's reached out to us in Japan that wants to offer it to all of their users around the globe. So we haven't really gotten to that point. We've been pretty much heads down building out the products and building out the open source layer previously. And we've never done any type of marketing whatsoever. All the growth at the user level and any type of interest from organizations, that's all been completely organic.
Great. Thank you so very much.
I don't know if we have time.
We don't do audio typically.